Hello, my viewers on E360. We are alive, we are kicking, and we are smiling. And yes, our beautiful motto for the Diamond Beauties and Tanzanite Euro is show up. Show up for yourself and then for others. The next step in the motto is step up, take the action, and in Shannon's case, heal yourself from the inside, as all of us did. And then what Shannon is going to share today is my third step, soul up, serve with love. Tell others how you done something, and there will be somebody that will resonate and that will take the chance and change their lives forever. I don't have my pom poms or anything here. I'm truly excited to have Shannon here. I just need to do something. I need to do a shout out to Ronnie from the UK and to Julie. I'm not too sure where Julie is from USA. Both ladies said to me, Sanette, meet this in powerful, amazing women. And my beautiful Shannon, it was my first time ever that two different people in two different countries have asked me to meet you. So I cannot wait for you, my beautiful E360 viewers, to meet our beautiful spotlight author, Shannon. But first of all, we're going to do the introductions of our beautiful co-hosts, Laura, Krista, and then my miracle man. You are welcome. Take it away.
Well, do you want me to go first? I guess I'll go first. Cool. Well, as you can see, I'm a thought energy empowerment leadership expert. I am super excited for this, Shannon. I think so many of us go through what you've been through in our own unique ways. And as we were talking behind the scenes, this is really something that's built within the human condition. It isn't just about one specific addiction or one experience of abuse. So I cannot wait. I think this is going to be powerful. I am, of course, a thought energy expert. So I look at everything in the structure of how we think about our thought process. And then, of course, how it aligns and affects everything. And like our beautiful panel, we are all speakers. We engage in community services. We are authors. We are storytellers. But I really focus on how can we empower one another. So I'm excited to have this opportunity to speak with you today. I think on very important subjects. So thank you. Miss Krista.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'm next. So I'm also known as Rosebud, but my name is Krista. I'm all the way from Ontario, Canada. So I decided to write a book that made Amazon #1 bestseller, and it's called Skip the Pain, Experience a Pleasure. And my tagline is cut the crap that's holding you back so you can live the life you love. I am a speaker, this TV show co-host, and an energy worker, and I work in many modalities because I want to help shift the mindset for people to find meaning in their lives despite the pain they're going through, because pain is pain. It could be chronic like I have, it could be invisible, it could be grief, mental, emotional, financial, and we'll talk a lot about it today. But I've been there, and after surviving so many life altering tragedies, I discovered one key truth, and it's you're stronger than your circumstances. And definitely after reading this book, you will definitely find ways that you are definitely stronger than your circumstances. So thank you.
So I am known as the Miracle Man. I am Howard Brown. I am the original Mr. Shining Brightly. So I help struggling leaders get back on track because I too am a struggling leader. We all are. How the hell did we get here, Shannon? I listened to your TEDx. Oh my God, just incredible. We're going to dig in and we're going to find out what you were thinking and where you're at now. And I'm just so thrilled to be here. We all get knocked down in life and in business and in health and in relationships. And we have to walk and learn from that darkness and use the light of others to lift up ourselves and then go make the world a better place. And so we'll do that today with you and learning what you've learned and how to do that all audience, and it's powerful. It is powerful.
Nice. Nice.
How about you, Miss Dancing Queen Butterfly? Who are you?
Hi, my beautiful Howard. I'm Sanette, currently in New Zealand with my beautiful grandchildren. And I just wanted to say thank you so much, my beautiful viewers, for all your comments and tuning in. I think that's the right word, tuning in. In South Africa, we say tuning in. So thank you so much for me. I create space and stages for millions of people around the world to share their wisdom, their beautiful, beautiful inspirational stories like Shannan. So, my beautiful Shannan, we are truly honored. I am honored to know you and to love you, and we are truly honored to have you here. Please, can you introduce yourself to all of us, please? Thank you.
Well, first off, I need to thank all of you for having me on this platform. I am very honored and I'm so happy to be here. So, as you guys have heard, my name is Shannan Mondor. I am a Canadian girl. I live in Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. I am a TEDx speaker, a life transformational mentor. I have my own podcast, which is Fulfillment in Faith, and I am an international author to How in the Hell Did I Get Here? Forever Changing the Genetic Blueprint on Abuse and Addiction. So that is who I am, and I'll tell you, I am at such a good place in my life. I've never been happier. Never been happier. Life is good.
Nice. Good.
Wow, I love it. I've got goosebumps. I spoke to Shannon when she just moved into a new house, and it was total exhilarating because there was no furniture yet, and we had to
Yeah,
meet in.
well, there's still not a lot of furniture yet. It's all ordered. I'm just waiting for it patiently.
My beautiful Shannon, tell us about your tattoo.
I love my tattoo. Because of the journey that I've been on, I never, ever, ever believed in tattoos ever. But because I have really come into knowing who I am and loving myself, my tattoo that I got is called Fulfillment in Faith. And I've got it right here, Fulfillment in Faith. And that's actually what my business is called, Fulfillment in Faith. Because I've learned along my journey that if I have faith within myself, I will have fulfillment in every single area in my life. And I truly believe that. I live that. I teach that. I breathe that. I eat that. I am that. And I am living proof. And I am, when you look at me and you hear me, I am every single person's possibility. There's no question.
Nice. Nice.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. Laura, you can start off with your question.
I know I have so many notes, which we always do, Shannon. This is for me a very important subject, but focusing on you and your story. I love what you just expressed. So much of what I talk about around the world is empowering ourselves, to empower right from the inside first, because then it authentically allows us to empower, EM, everyone else around us. And there really is something, I think, incredibly vulnerable, but absolutely ignites that resilience, as Krista was talking about, in us when we have a story, a book, an author right here in real time that we can garner wisdom and insight from. One of the things I study is epigenetics. So I know you and I could talk for hours on this, but the genetic blueprint. I'm curious why you chose, I'm going past the obvious, why you chose that terminology, that genetic blueprint, and knowing that you are now resolving, let's say, the genetic blueprint of the patterns. How can we help support other people who are going through these abuses, that even if their mind is telling them it's genetically kind of predisposed, that there is a built-in resilience to come up and out of that? So just kind of a little bit of your story around genetic blueprint. This is where things have really shifted with me. for where I've grown and who I am now, and all of the teachings and different mentors and things like that. So when I look at genetic blueprint now, I look at it as not like scientific, like genetic that way. I really look at it as vibration. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a little story here because I do not believe that a lot of people are not going to believe me when I say this, but I witnessed this firsthand. I do not believe that addiction is a disease. I don't. I truly believe that addiction, alcoholism, is a dis-ease. And it is a dis-ease because we are brought into a vibration into this world. We are vibrational beings in a vibrational world. I was born into the lowest of low vibrations. So, of course, I was brought into the vibration of depression, anxiety, fear, addiction. That's where all of that lies. You don't see happy people brought into a happy world with all of these things, fear and all of that. That's not how it works. So, of course, me bringing brought into a vibration of that, that was my normal. And if you read my book and you go throughout it, well, of course, absolutely, I attracted all of those things into my life. That was my normal. Yeah. That was my normal. Yeah. I Did that love answer that. your did that Yes, answer your absolutely. And I could see everybody where, yes. So yeah. because I'm a thought energy expert, this is what I study, this is how I live. Mhm. That was such a beautiful explanation because I was wondering, were you able to almost narrow that gap from the genetic, the science, the epigenetic to a more higher level frequency of understanding now that you were born into a frequency Yes. of vibration, and now through all of that challenge, the wisdom, as I said, and the insight that you've gained is why this is just an incredible opportunity to hear your story. So beautiful. Thank you so And much. it has given me the opportunity because I say it in a real simple form, that, you know, I don't come, yes, I do come from a family of addiction. There's no question about it. But the biggest thing is I come from a family of low frequency. And Yeah. that's what people really need to understand and people really need to see. And this way, you can heal from any addiction. Do I believe that I am an alcoholic? Absolutely not. I was somebody that had an addiction to alcohol, but that's over. That's my past. I was somebody that was born into a low vibration. I am the one that creates my identity. My identity is not that at Beautiful. all, at Thank all, at you. all, at all. Yeah. Okay, I know I could keep talking to you about this, but I've got to go on to my panel. Beautiful. Just forever. Yeah. Thank you.
You know, it's so funny because this often happens when we kind of steal each other's questions.
Yeah.
And Laura, you definitely were, framed it a little bit differently than how I was going to ask it. But I'm going to still use it as a jumping point to another question. So in your book, you did talk about how it's hereditary and,
Mhm.
the different generations and where you are. So now I'm wondering, after you wrote this book, do you feel you broke that generational trauma, that lower vibration that you maybe were in when you had your children? I'm not sure. Um, for your children now, wherever they are.
Oh, absolutely. Each individual has their own vibration, right? I awoke to the awareness of that. I lived in that identity that my abuser, which was my brother, had given me. That was his vibration. That was his identity. I was told my whole entire life that I was dumb, I was stupid, I was never going to amount to anything, all of that. I didn't realize on a subconscious level that that was buried deep inside of me to my soul. And it wasn't until I had that awakening, was when I realized, like, oh my gosh, that was my normal for 50 years. That is everybody's normal in my family for 50 years, but we didn't know that. I had the awakening, absolutely. Has the rest of my family had that awakening? No, not yet. I hope that they do. I really hope that they do, but everybody is on their same journey. My journey at that point in time was to be like, oh my gosh, I normalized all of that and I brought it into my household. I brought it into my children's life. Now it's up to me for me to stop that. So that's what I did. I started to change because I was starting to understand frequency and vibration and all of that. Then it was like, no way. It is my choice to recognize, it's my awareness to recognize what vibration I am on. I can either be in the lowest of low of vibration, which is fear, anxiety, depression, or I can start to educate myself and I can become into the enlightened form. Now, as everybody can see, I am in the enlightenment because I am helping people literally from all over the world. I am a teacher. So that has now changed my whole entire life. It has now changed where my children are going to be going and their thought process and all of that too, right? Like it's totally changed for my upcoming grandchildren and generations to come. I have literally stopped that. Yeah, there's no question.
Yeah. That's so fantastic. And I had a feeling that's where you're going to go because I seen that through your book, especially towards the end of your book, how definitely even how you wrote the book. I can
Mhm,
feel the energy within the words even change, even how it affected myself. So,
mhm.
and as an energy worker using many, many modalities, I definitely meet the people where they're at. And sometimes, yes, it's at that low vibration, like you were saying, and try to help them raise it and to stay in that. And once you do, it's almost kind of like this rippling effect. You exude it to other people. And I love the way that you're doing it, continuing to live in it and working on it every day. So thanks. Great answer.
That is now my new normal. That's
Yeah.
my normal. I cannot be a teacher. I am a teacher on a daily basis. And it's so funny because now, when I'm talking to people or whatever, I can see the vibration that they're in, or you just feel it. I
Yeah.
can tell by their words. I can tell by their body language. Everything just molds together, and and because I've experienced so much in my life, I'm so relatable, and I am myself. I'm my true authentic self, and that's what people like about me. Like what you see is what you get, and I speak my truth, and sometimes the truth does hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank
Nice.
you.
So Shannon, we all write about what we can, faced and what we've had to overcome. And I place um, addiction and trafficking and cancer and other bad stuff called darkness. I don't want to walk there too long. Oh my God, you walked there for 50 years.
I
I
know I did.
read the pages of this toll and toxicity, emotionally, physically, financially, in relationship that you walk through. And I basically sat and I was like, oh my God. It's just really for a huge majority of your life, you walk there and you proved that you could step away and above into the light. And my question actually is, and also the statistics are alarming of what you consider over 12 years of age and who has an addiction of all sorts of definition. I mean, you said it was
Mhm,
like 37 million, I think. It's just
mhm,
there. So
mhm.
we life is hard and you have to work through these things and you shouldn't isolate and you should get help. Um, I want you to tell me, you use this definition, you use this terminology called true freedom. Tell me what true freedom means to you.
Oh gosh.
It's a heavy question. It's big.
No, there's just so many facets that I've gone through, and I want people to understand that when I first started out on this journey, August of 2019, that was my beginning of my true freedom because I just had this awareness, right? So but at that time, it was like, wow, this is. Uh, there was a heavy weight that lifted off of me because I was starting to speak my truth. The big thing was the awareness, like, wow. But what I say now, what true freedom is, is going to be totally different from a year from now, what true freedom totally is, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to speak at the present moment of what I truly believe true freedom is. For me right now is speaking my truth, sharing my story to the world, letting people know that the journey that I have been on, and I am a leader, because I want everybody to know that we're not the only ones. We've all gone through stuff, but I'm the one that's willing to get up there and speak in front of hundreds of people, or write a book, or be on a podcast, or be on a TV interview, to share my darkest moments in life, so then I can let others know that, you know what, my life was horrible, but I succeeded and I found a way, and I'm doing it. And anybody else that's going through whatever it is within their life, you do matter. And to know that it's people like me that are giving you the strength, and to have that vulnerability. And if you want to cry, cry. And if there's fear that pops up, I'm telling you, you want to get past that fear. I'm at that point in my life where there's not a heck of a lot of things that scare me anymore. And if there is something that does pop up that I'm fearful about, right away I'm like, okay, why is this popping up? Okay, there's that shame that I was told, I'm not good enough, or you're ugly, or you're stupid, or whatever. There's a trigger that's within that fear. That is my signal that I have got to go forward no matter what, no matter what. Because once I get through that fear, there's a learning lesson that I'm going through. And it's through that learning lesson and through that experience that I get the opportunity to have one more experience, so I can teach others one more thing that I've gone through.
Love
That's
that.
beautiful. And I can tell you, your pain is your purpose now.
It
You
is.
are so authentic.
Yeah.
And that's, it took the pages, it took, I just kind of walked with you in this emotional, physical, financial, and relationship toxicity. And then to come out the other side,
Mhm.
scarred, but really knowledgeable. It is just, you're a Shiro. You're a hero Shiro. It's unbelievable, and I just want to just commend you for doing that and then changing the generational pattern. It's not
Yeah.
easy,
No,
and
it's not easy.
it's taken most of your life to do it, and you've done it, and now you're just a shining light. I just want to tell you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we find our purpose in our pain. But another phrase that I absolutely love is, your mess matters. All of us, all of us have a mess, and your mess matters. So start speaking about your mess, because somebody else is going to pick up on that mess, and they're like, I'm in the same mess. Thank you. So your mess matters. Believe me.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, my beautiful miracle man. So I want to say on page 93, you were talking there and you were saying, if there's anything that I want to emphasize in this book, is gratitude. So my question for me, gratitude is very important. For me, my question, my question to you is, how has practicing gratitude transformed your life? And what are you most grateful for today?
So I would have to say, along my whole journey, I was a victim. I felt like I was a total victim until I had my awakening, right? And when you're in the state of victimhood and blaming and, all of that chaos, you have no room for gratitude. How can you? So once I started to take responsibility of my life and who I was, and I could see everything that was going on, I could actually shift my perspective. I could look at my life and I could stay in that victimhood, which I had half my life, 50 years old. I think about that now and it's like, oh my gosh, 50 years, right? That's a long time. Or I could change my perspective totally and completely, and I could be like in gratitude of it. And that was a huge pivotal moment for me, because after I read my book, like I was all finished on my book, and and I'm reading it, and I'm looking at, and I'm like, holy smokes, I have gone through a lot of crap. I had no idea, because I was living in it. I was still living in it. And that was when I really sat with myself and I'm like, wow, have other people gone through as much stuff as I had? I don't know. But my first thing was no, they hadn't. And then I thought to myself, if I've gone through this much stuff, why? Why did I go through all of this? And then it was like, it is because I'm supposed to teach people. And that was what I was so grateful about. Then I could start to see the most beautiful things. God had actually given me a gift. He gave me the gift of the pain that I had went through. I'm going to cry.
Oh.
He did. He did. He did. He gave me the pain that I was supposed to go through so I could be a leader. And you know what? I am that leader. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself.
Ooh.
But it was not only through that, it was for me to look at so many other people that I used to judge as well, because then I could give them compassion as well too. And I see that on a daily basis. So that's where my gratitude comes in. And I'm grateful for that every single day.
Thank you,
I
my
didn't
beauty.
even cry. Oh my gosh, it was just so heartfelt talking. It was just like, oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm so grateful. It's
So my
not about me. And that's what I know. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about me helping others. And I know that God has given me that gift and God is leading me to where I am supposed to be. I know that.
so when I read that part, I cried. I literally cried. And I was thinking of my own life. And when I said to somebody a few months ago, I am truly privileged to be me, the person thought I was arrogant, but I was not. I went through a lot of things to be able to teach other people, to serve other people with love. And I am privileged to be me, and I'm proud of myself. So yes, when you were just spoken, you were speaking my words as well. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for giving us your heart. My beautiful life force, your turn.
Uh, there's so much here that I want to express. You know, seeing you, and again, as Sanat just said, that vulnerability and that self compassion, and asking yourself, am I the only one? Who else could possibly go through this? And I think we all would be surprised, not so much now as we're starting to travel around the world together, but everybody has gone through the mess. And I do think the difference with leadership is when we acknowledge the mess in order to empower others or lead others or teach others or guide others. That's what separates some of us that went through the mess. It's not a higher purpose or better than, it is just this awareness and awakening around the purpose to, as Howard said, the pain, and how we recalibrate that. And I love how you have this energetic frequency aspect of your, what I call your mindset, because this is where I live in that quantum field. And I'm picking up on how all things are possible when
Yeah.
you really start to love oneself. And when Sinette just said, you can't judge someone that basically says, how dare you think that you are, because they just have not arrived to that part. But I'm acknowledging Sinette and all of your beauty and your greatness. So anytime anybody poo-poos on that, you just wish them love and carry on, Queen. So my question is around a quote. I love quotes. I think they're these beautiful little micro stories right in the beautiful whole of the book. And why I love this particular quote, because it's not just about eating, but you had said, you are what you eat. So don't be fast, easy, cheap, or fake. I love this because for me, my mind took it and I applied it to everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Nothing should be easy, cheap, fast, or fake. The quality and the integrity of how we are all trying to really cultivate leadership and empowerment in the global community. You can't be any of that. But please tell me, where did you get this? Did you create this quote? Is it something that you came upon? And how do you apply it beyond just eating?
So
I read a lot, like a lot. I am so into personal development and mindset, and I can't even tell you how much I read.
Mm.
And I don't even know where that quote actually came from. I know that I read it in a book and it really, really resonated with me at that particular time. And I just thought that that just really sums up everything if you truly love yourself in one little sentence. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that my body is my vessel and I really have to take care of it. And even when I look at the version of myself and the end result where I want to be, like I want to be a motivational speaker known worldwide, on stages, telling my story, so people can relate to help them heal and all of that. And that is all a part of it, like in order for me to get that end result version of myself, I have to take care of myself. I have to start looking at my body. I have to start loving myself. So, in order for me to love myself, yeah, you know what? We all want a little bit of fast food every once in a while.
Mhm.
But when I was in my deepest, darkest state, my actions, how I ate, how I looked at myself, how I took care of myself, that was all low vibration, which is all of what? Right? There's the sugar, there's like the garbage, there's the fast food, there's the alcohol, there's all of that. There is nothing in there that is good for you at all. So, but as I grew into this new version of who I am, I started to really pay attention. I wanted to be around nice people. I wanted to be around nice environments. I wanted to look good for myself. It wasn't about anybody else anymore. It was all about me and who I was and what I was growing into. I wanted to start feeling healthy. This is my vessel. I've really got to take care of it. And you know what? How are the ways that I'm going to take care of it? It's total and complete mind, body, and spirit is what it is. And I really tapped into that, and that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you. Yeah, I just, again, it's if everyone can take that with you, the fast, easy, cheap, and fake, go in its opposition and you will create an empowered life. So thank you. Thank you.
And I'm not going to say that we're all like, I'm going to follow this every single day because we've got ego, right? And that ego is going to slip up every once in a while. But you know what? That's okay. We're humans, but the majority of the time we are there to look after ourselves first and question yourself, ask yourself, what does that mean to me? What does taking care and loving myself really mean? Because let me tell you, I had no idea what loving myself was because I had been a people pleaser and a chameleon for so long. I had no clue. It wasn't until I sat in my stillness and I really started to look at everything around me that I could really figure it out. And I wanted to figure it out, right? Instead of me doing, I was just sitting there and I was just being.
Mm.
That's all I was doing. I
And
was just
also,
listening.
it makes me think, and then I'll stop. The vibration of what you're putting into the mind, body, and soul, right? What is the vibration, the frequency of the food, the movies, the music, the company
Absolutely.
you're keeping? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful. Thank
And
you.
and I'm very much in tune to that, right? Because your feelings tell you everything, right? If I'm on a real low, I'll be honest with you. Like, I love podcasts and, I listen to like Mel Robbins and all these other, high vibration podcasts and that, right? But every once in a while, I like to listen to garbage. You know what I mean? Like, I like to listen to Dateline and, I want to hear about the murder stories and stuff like that. But because I've got an awareness of vibration, and I love those podcasts. I think they're great, right? But if I have a really heavy feeling within me, it's like, oh, you know what? I've been listening to too much low vibration negativity. You know what I mean? I've got to switch things around here. Then I'll go into, like, say, listening to Oprah's Soul series or something. You know what I mean? But I've got that awareness with me at all times, whether I walk into a room or whether I'm talking to somebody. It's my duty to protect myself because if I stay in that low vibration, I'm just going to start attracting low vibration stuff in all areas of my life. And I don't want that. I do not want that. Right. So
Beautiful.
I'm in tune with all of that. Absolutely, I am.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Oh, I love that. And, there's again so much into that. Um, when you said, you pay attention to your emotions, in my book, I wrote and literally drew out your emotions can be your alarm. So if you
Oh,
start feeling lower, there's the alarm saying, where am I doing? What am I thinking right now? And what do I want to think instead? And I love the way we talked about, our pain is our purpose, or, different ways you say it. And the way I put it is sometimes your biggest battles are your biggest blessings. And I found that in my life, and when I focus on that, that's how I'm able to start healing and inspiring myself, first of all, and others. But I absolutely have to bring this up. You said this one word. I'm going to focus on a word, and it said denial. You were in denial. And so I love acronyms. I'm known for a lot of acronyms. For me, denial stands for didn't even know I'm lying. So, very similar to yourself, I went to a spiral down, ended up going to a treatment center. And it wasn't, I kept thinking, what are you talking about? I'm fine. I'm fine was like my speech. I could say that all the time, but inside I was in denial. I was really trembling inside, but I didn't know. So I'm wondering, how did you end up shifting your mindset and getting that awareness that doesn't keep you in that denial state and brings you to a place where you are aware of what's going on and just really being honest, with where you are and what's happening today?
that I gotta say that was probably my hardest lessons to learn because it was brought forth to me through other circumstances. So I'm going to give you an example. Um, After my book was written, you guys have all read my book. There was a lot of people that did not like the things that I had said within my book. They had taken things on personally, and I still to this day don't under the book was about me. The book was about my feelings, my emotions, what I had went through. But the people that did not like it, I ended up to I had to completely not have them in my life anymore. And they made it about themselves is what actually happened. They're like, how could you write a book like that? How now people are going to approach us and they're going to ask us about your addiction, like, why would you write that? Why were you so open and so forthcoming? And I'll be honest with you, I was so angry because I was like, this was not about you. For once in your life, people, it was not about you. This was about my story, my feelings, my emotion, my addiction, why it all happened. And it was in that moment I was like, oh my gosh, I am being taught a lesson here right now because they are in denial of what's actually happening in their life. I'm the one that's seeing it for the first time, and I was in denial for all of these years. And so it was a real trigger for me. But once I could actually sit back and see it, I'm like, holy smokes. That was just one scenario,
Nice.
right? That was just one scenario. So
Yeah.
they were to me in really big lessons. And now I can look back at them. Yes, they are released from my life, but I also know too, when you come into the forefront of what denial actually is, it's actually kind of like the universal law of rhythm. And all of us have experienced this. And I'm going to tell you, when things crash really bad for us in our lives, we're thinking like, oh my gosh, like this is the end. Just like it was with these people, like these family members, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the end. But what was really happening was when we're holding on to something so tight and the universe is like trying to rip it out of our hands, that's actually something that has to be released out of our life and go, so then something more beautiful can come into your life. And that's where the denial aspect comes in, right? I was in denial of how these people I thought loved me and treated me, and but it was the exact opposite. I was in denial of that. And then once things came into the forefront and the truth was being told, I could release them, even though I was holding on for so long. I didn't want to lose these people, but now they're gone. Praise and release. And you know what? I look at them for where they are because now they're on a journey. But you know what happened? I got all these beautiful people into my life now. I would never have you people in my life. I would never have anybody approach me to be, to be going on podcasts, or you know what I mean, or walking into these rooms where I'm educating people, and that, right? So that's what the law of rhythm is all about. We all have those downs. Embrace those downs. Even though you're holding on, let it go. Let it go. It's the universe telling you, no, get rid of it. You're going on to your next step. So you're going down and then you're going back up again, right? That's where everything beautiful comes in. And I get that. I can feel when that universal law of rhythm is happening, right? And it's like, holy shit. Okay, here's the roller coaster ride, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Sanetta, you doing paparazzi there?
I'm
Yes.
paparazzi.
So, my beautiful one, it's time for paparazzi. So, Howard, all over to you.
So I want to make a comment, and then we're going to do something, Shannon, called the speed round. So first of all, one of the things that I pulled away is how resilient, and how you actually, resilience is more like a muscle. It's mental toughness, it's physical, but the boundaries that you just talked about, you set new boundaries. That's the rhythm, and that's the energy that, and again, your resilience is so commendable, because mentally and physically, and setting those boundaries for yourself and for others is your key. And I just want to tell you, it's hard work, and you put in that work, and we're realizing now the benefits of that work. So what I'm going to do is, I have a group of words, okay, and I'm going to ask for shorter answers from you, and they all come out of the book. And so the first set of words is 3 words, and they're related, and they're from earlier in your book, called, it's fear, shame, and loneliness.
Okay.
Well, you need to respond.
Oh, okay. So fear. So how? Like, I'm not understanding. Like,
So
what?
I'm
What is
doing
it
a
that you?
speed round. So I want you to reflect and tell me. So when I say the words fear, shame, and loneliness, those are what came out of your book. You use those words early on in your book.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? That was my childhood.
There you
That
go.
that's
That's what I was
exactly
looking for.
it was my childhood.
Are
That
you?
And
whenever those come up, those are triggers, and that takes me right back to that. Oh, and you know
that's
what? Probably will for the rest of my life. Absolutely. Yeah.
you nailed it. I was looking for that. The next 2 words are,
Sorry, Howard, are you ready?
yes. Oh, yeah. So every word gets a paparazzi. So, all right. So the next 2 words are, courage and determination.
Courage and determination. I would have to say now that I'm going through a divorce.
No.
Yeah. Courage and determination.
Nice.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So after that, I want to. This is really towards the end of your book, and it's really important. And I think is really a keynote of your book. You had a chapter on forgiveness.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That was my realization. You know what? That was my beginning of my freedom.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Nice.
Freedom, I like that. And then the next set of words are self-discovery and growth.
Mm,
That's a daily basis thing with me.
yeah,
Wow,
good.
Yeah.
thank you. And then the last question is an open-ended question. What is next for Shannon?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. There are so many things that are coming, for me now. So like I had mentioned, just briefly, a couple seconds ago, I am going through a divorce. And I have grown so much through these last 5 years. And I've realized that my husband was there for a season, a reason, but not a lifetime. And I really embrace that that phrase now, because I look at there when I walked out the door, I gave him a big hug, and I said, and I actually thanked him. I said, I want to thank you for teaching me so many things about myself that I needed to learn. And if he wasn't there during that whole time, I would never be where I am today. So I look at, you know, people, they are there for a reason, and it can be for happy times or sad times or whatever it may be. And that was the sole purpose of our marriage, and I get that, because that has made me, I got to say, my marriage has made me now, through all that I've gone through, the strongest person that I could possibly be. Absolutely. Nice. You know, there's just so many things. So when you're, I just want people to know that when they reflect back on their life, and there's certain situation that they've gone through with individuals, shift your perspective. And what did you learn from them? Because believe it or not, that was a gift that God gave you. That, what did you learn from that? Some people will not learn from that until they actually listen to what I'm saying. Then they will reflect back on somebody that hurt them. There's a learning lesson in everything. And that's why I feel true freedom, because I've looked back at every scenario, and I am so damn lucky to where I am today. So
Nice.
damn lucky. And another thing too is, I don't have any pain or sadness or whatever. You know, it is what it is. It just, you know what I mean? And what a gift that I can give my children. You know, both my future ex-husband, look at what we've taught them, because you can still separate and still be friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, he gave me the gift of my children as well too, right? You know, and it really is a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be animosity or anything like that. You know, you
Thank
decide.
you. Thank you for that vulnerability, that sharing. And you're right. You can still be friends and you can still find your own happiness apart.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
thank you. Thank
absolutely.
you for that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
So, my beautiful Shannon, we are at the end of the show almost. So, I would love to find out, what is your golden nugget?
Well, of course, it's fulfillment in faith, right? Because if you have faith in yourself, you'll have fulfillment in all areas of your life. Like, there's, like, I just look at all the most beautiful things that are coming into my life now. Um, you know, like, I've written another book, and I'm working on my third book. You know, there's going to be a lot of activity coming forward. You know, me being on stages, you know, with my coaching, all of it. Just keep on following me on social media, and there's always something coming up. So yeah, and if you just want to, you know, give me a phone call or an email, just go onto my website. Yeah.
And then, my beautiful E360 viewers, please check below in the show notes. You will have the link to Shannon's book. You will also be able to find her website, and you can follow us. You have also our websites, Laura, Krista, myself, and Howard's website. You can all connect to us. And if you want to be a future author, spotlight author, please connect with me. I would love to have a coffee chat with you. So, my beautiful ones, we are at the end of our show. So, my beautiful Shannon, how are you feeling?
Oh, you know what? I just feel so wonderful. You know what? I just hope that whatever I say, that I inspire somebody, and that I all I ever want is, I just want to help one person. That's all I want. And so, that being said, I feel really good. You guys, I am so happy in my life right now. I did the work, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm just beaming. I just love life, you know? Good.
Oh, so beautiful. So, my beautiful co host, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for reading beautiful Shannon's book. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for being a spotlight author. Do you have your shades or your glasses here? I would love to ask, would you love to have? a dance with us? My, my beautiful viewers on E360, would you love to have a dance with us? They said yes, they said yes. Here we go. Oops, now I cannot see. I have to take it off. Here we go.
Walking on sunshine or dancing in the rain. Sprinkle me with fairy dust so I can fly away. Smiling at a moonbeam or squinting in the sun. Sprinkle me with fairy dust and cover me with love. From butterflies to eagles, oh,
Bye
there's
bye,
magic in
everyone.
the
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
flame.
everybody. Thank you.
Sprinkle me
Bye.
with